Hi, this is Lori from Shoo Shoo Paper Art, and today I'm going to show how to make these fun double square overlap window cards. That's what I'm going to call them. That's kind of a long name for something pretty simple, but they look so cute. I love the openings, and the little V's right here is really fun. And when you open them up, the flaps open up to reveal the rest of your scene inside. So that's pretty fun. And these are pretty easy to make, so let's get started. We're going to need a 5.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and then we're going to do 2 scores. Okay, we're going to score at 3 5/8 and also at 7 1/4. All right. Now we're ready to fold that card so that it's overlapping. Now, the inside piece, the one that you fold inside, depending on your card weight, is going to need to be cut off. And it actually does depend on your card weight, how much you need to cut off. It does make a difference because it won't fold just, quite right. So let's go ahead and start there. And I usually start with just, a small amount, maybe 1/8 of an inch, and cut that and see where I'm at, and then go from there. So let's cut that little bit off and see if that inside piece, nope, see, it's not quite enough. So I'm going to cut a little bit more. Okay, let's see what that does. Oh, I still think it needs a little bit more. That's not bad, but I am going to cut that just a little bit more. It's kind of a trial and error kind of thing. And you just don't want to cut off too much. That's why I'm taking it kind of slow and easy. Okay, that's perfect. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is make the triangles here. Now you'll notice that I don't start the triangle way over here at the edge. There's a bit of a space here. It makes a really nice V if you go ahead and bring that over a little bit. This is 7 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to mark those on my card base. So I'm just going to line up my fold with 7 1/8 of an inch. And then make, oops, my pencil's not quite there. Okay, make a little mark there. And go ahead and make a mark down at the bottom. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the inside piece. This time it'll need to come from this fold out here. So I'm going to open it up. Put that fold at 7 1/8 of an inch. Make a little mark. Make a mark down at the bottom. Okay, the next thing I need to do, oh, hello. I made the marks in the middle. Okay, so let's try that again, shall we? Okay, I'm going to put it there. Okay, my 7 1/8 of an inch mark is right there. I'm gonna move it over so I can have a nice, all right. There we go, that's a little bit better. All right, now I also need a mark in the middle of each of these so I can make my triangles. So the width is 5 1/2, so that's going to be 2 5/8. And I need to do that on the other side as well. Now I can make my cuts, and I'm just going to line up on my cut line the mark that I made at the bottom and the mark that I made in the middle. And I'm just going to cut those. Let's get that a little bit more exact. Okay. Now I want to do the same thing, and this time lining up the mark that I made at the top and the mark that I made in the middle. Nope, didn't quite cut all the way through. Let me do that again. All right, so there we have the first side done. And now let's go ahead and do the other side. All right, once you have the triangle points made on both sides of the card, you're ready to make the window openings. All right, it'll look like this. All right, if you're going to use pattern paper, on this one I use just pattern paper on one side, and on this one I use pattern paper on both. Go ahead and put the pattern paper on before you make your cuts. That will make it a lot easier. So I've got an example here of this one. So my pattern paper's on. Now you want to start with the square that's the largest, the square on top. And you might notice, I don't know if you can tell or not in the video, these squares are actually a little bit larger than the squares I used on these. So these are the two squares that I use. This is a 2-inch square, and that's really about as big as you want to get, because you don't want these, the pieces that are left out here, to be any thinner than that. Okay, so 2 inches is about as big as you want to get. The squares that you select, when you turn this square on its ends, or to make a diamond shape, you want to be sure that this bottom square will fit in there nicely. And that makes a really nice double window opening. So on this card, the one with the little girl, I used these two squares, and you can see that that one fits in there really nicely. You can even go as small as your smallest square and, you know, put a little stamp in there. That would be really cute. Show off something really special. That would be fun. Okay, so these are the two. Now I want to start with the larger square, the one on top. And to get it in the right place, I just want to follow the angle that has been cut. You know, if you turn it like that, that's not going to work. It's not going to look right. So just kind of line it up, and you want to make sure that you have an equal amount here on both sides. And then to make sure it runs through nicely, I'm just going to use some blue tape to hold it in place. Open that up and run it through my Big Shot. Now you want to make this square first. Don't go ahead and put this one on, because you want to make sure it fits really nicely in the opening. So you will want to go ahead and run this one through by itself first. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've run this through my Big Shot, and I ran it through 3 or 4 times because I'm using 120-pound cardstock as well as 80-pound for this printable paper here. So I had to run it through more than once to make sure it goes through all the layers. Okay, so once you have that opening, you're ready to do the underneath layer. And you just want to make sure that it fits in the opening that you made. Just kind of work with it a little bit to make sure it's kind of centered there. And also you want to be careful that it's far enough away from the edge. You don't want to go through the edge of your paper. So once you have a nice location for it, you can run it through your Big Shot as well. See, the corners are cut off about the same on each side, making sure that when you look through, you can see what you want to see. All right. So once you've run that through your big shot, you're through with the main part of your card and you're ready to decorate it however you wish. This little Miss Muffet is a printable on my blog, and I'll have a link to that. You can make any fun little scenes in there you want to. You can see that even a little bit shows at the top. I think that's okay. You might even want to do a little fun thing showing through all the way at the top. That would be kind of fun too. This one, let's see. Oh, let's talk about, I went ahead and made closers for these as well to kind of hold them down. This one is a gold paper clip. It has a little stamped flower with a sequin and a little bit of ribbon that I tied on the end. And it's just a little cute thing to hold it closed. And this one is also a gold paper clip with a little wrap that says perfect. And this is gold embossed and some punched little gold paper stars, which is kind of fun. And when you open this one up, you get the rest of the little scene with the little bird and the cat and the rest of the tree and some more stars for a meowie Christmas. So this is a really fun fold. I love the double square overlap window cards. So I hope you make some of your own, and thank you for joining me. You can always find me at shoo-shoo paper art.com.